Mark Thompson down here in Voorhees, New Jersey, Flyer Skate Zone. It's the prospects camp for the Philadelphia Flyers, but I'm joined by a familiar face to my right, newly announced today as the assistant coach of the Reading Royals, Kirk MacDonald. K-Mac, you're back. You knew you couldn't leave us for long. It's great to have you back.
Thanks, Tomer. I'm excited about the opportunity to work with Larry and hopefully keep this winning thing going that he's had here for, his whole tenure. So I'm excited and looking forward to learning a lot from him.
Well, you're coming off of your coaching as well. You served as an assistant up at RPI. Good season with the team up there. We got some video of you over the course of the season. I'm not exactly sure that's the way you wanted us to see it, but typical K-Mac getting right in the middle of the mix. What was your experience like at RPI?
It was good. It was great to get my feet wet there with the staff. I was able to play for their coach, Seth Appert, my senior year at RPI, so I kind of had that relationship, and I played with one of their assistants while I was in school. So it was good. I think it's always good, especially getting started, to be with some people you're familiar with and know what they're about. So I learned a lot, and now I'm trying to take that next step.
Your lineage actually comes from a sports background. Your father was a very well-known, actually I believe he was the athletic director, if I'm not mistaken, at the University of British Columbia out in Victoria. And you come from that type of background. Has this been something that you've kind of waited for a while, obviously first as a player, now as a coach?
Well, I have to correct you on one thing. It's University of Victoria. UBC and UVic are rivals, so I don't think they would like that. So, but yeah, no, I've always kind of wanted to work in the game when I was done, and that was something that I was, trying to prepare myself for, and working with the Players Association a little bit while I was a player, and I think it's tough to leave once you're a part of it, and just getting to work in the game. I like it, and this is just that next step, and obviously everybody's can't play forever, so I think this is just that next step, and it's great to be around good people and people that are at that win, and Larry's been doing that his whole career, so I'm pretty excited to be a part of it.
Well, I know you ended your playing career on an unbelievable note. It was a championship season with the Royals and had a great team that year. And it looked to me, as I observed you over the course of the season, obviously you were one of the leadership group, one of the alternate captains of the team. And it looked like you were already beginning the process of turning into a guy who would be leading players out on the ice as a coach.
Well, yeah, I think you get to that stage in your career. I think myself and Weller were the two oldest guys. We were 29 that year, 28, 29, and when you get to that age and you're playing at that level, it just kind of, I think those are those things that are expected of you as an older guy, and we were both two guys that had kind of been there and played at the next level, and for me that was something I think kind of trying to stress to the guys is, if you play hard here at this level, you're going to get your opportunities, and not to kind of sit there and dwell about being in this league. I think that's the worst thing guys can do, and you showed that year from winning the opportunities guys got, whether it's American League contracts, call-ups, or NHL contracts. I mean, some guys playing in the NHL. So, you show you go out and play hard, and you're successful at this level, you're going to get opportunities at the next.
You were part of a number of successful playoff runs, of course the championship run with the Royals, good run in Providence as well. You had one as well with Albany. You had a good playoff run. Looking back over your playing career, what did you take from those playoff runs when you're heading towards a championship? Is there something that you'll bring as a coach and look back and say, this is something that you've absolutely have to have if you want to take home the hardware?
The thing I remember is how hard it is, how banged up guys are, and guys are playing through injuries, and whether it's the Stanley Cup or the Calder Cup or the Kelly Cup, I mean, you got to win 16 games in 2 months, and it's hard. You're battling every day, and you're grinding it out. Especially at this level, you're on the bus. You're not on a chartered flight. You got a 9-hour bus trip, and you still got to play a 60-minute game and battle. And there's only 10 forwards, and it's tough. And that's the biggest thing is you need everybody going. You can't have one line. It's the depth we had that year. We won. I think we had, when we won the title in Game 5 against Stockton, we had two guys in the stands who were point-a-game players at the ECHL level. I mean, that's why you win. You got to have that depth and guys willing to buy in and maybe do things that they're not really accustomed to. You take those roles, whether it's checking. Sometimes you have guys that score or have to check. And that's the things you're going to have to do to win.
One of the elements that stand out to me, certainly how hard you played and how dedicated you were, but also a sense of humor that you brought to the locker room and to the team over the course of the season during that championship year in particular. It seems like that's kind of a trademark element of KMAC, is knowing when and how to get the guys involved in the kind of the humor side of things.
Well, yeah, I don't know if any of that stuff can be said on camera, so I guess we'll just leave it at that. I think you got to have fun. It's just a game at the end of the day. I mean, there's worse things we could be doing. So, I think we got to be serious and you got to be a pro, but that doesn't mean you can't laugh at yourself a little bit and have some fun. It's at the end of the day, it's a game, and you got to play loose, or if you're squeezing that stick too tight, you're never going to have any success. I
imagine that part of what you'll be involved in here in the very near future is recruiting guys over to the Royals. I'm sure that's something you feel comfortable about, contacting some of the guys you played with, some of the guys that you may not have played with but had seen before, and trying to convince them to come to Reading.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a few guys that I played with, and even in a couple seniors from a team at RPI last year that I think we'd like to get here in Reading that could be good players. And obviously there's some guys that we won a championship together 2 years ago that would be you always want to have back, and we're working on getting them back, and a couple key guys, and Ethan Cox, I think, is definitely a guy we'd like to get. We know he's a big-time player at this level, and his penalty killing and his ability to shut down top players is second to none, really, at this level. I don't think we would have won in 2013 without his role. So hopefully he decides to come back, and we'd love to have him. So I guess this is a bit of my recruiting speech. Hopefully he watches this. So. But yeah, it's a great learning experience for me too at this point.
Well, Kirk MacDonald, welcome back to Reading as the assistant coach. It's great to have you.
Oh, thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Kirk MacDonald named today as the assistant coach of the Reading Royals. We're here at the Flyer Skate Zone in Voorhees, New Jersey, at the actual prospects camp for the Philadelphia Flyers. And thanks for watching.